Most of me, how's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know what it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast on Some Magazine describes as the one that initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to cover the creative workflow of their favorite musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are all sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your type of CP pod at darkfusionsystems.com. The podcast below. Score feature presentation. You have seen her on Instagram. You've seen her on TikTok. You've seen her vocal covers, and you know of her band. And there's a brand new EP coming out. We have Kasey from Deadlands on the podcast today with their brand new EP 7 releasing on June 27th. We talk about the EP, its connection to the 7 deadly sins, and how eating disorders really take a look into the song about gluttony and why they need to be talked about more. We also dive deep into reflecting on Kasey's journey as a vocalist and what's going to happen next with Deadlands. Oh, all this fun stuff in this great conversation. Enough of me. Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. Thanks to an all-time great friend of the podcast, Miss Tori Kravitz from She's With the Band and Absolute PR, we are finally bringing this fantastic person to the podcast today. You have seen her online, from her covers of Zombified by Falling in Reverse and to the Hellfire by Lorna Shore and all the other times you've been scrolling online and have seen any time she's been on there screaming her absolute ass off and having you wonder, man, why can't I actually do vocals like her? But she's here with us today with her band Deadlands and the brand new EP 7 coming out on June 27th. Man, this is exciting. We get brand new music from them, and you're going to want to see this live when it comes out because holy shit is this EP good. So please welcome Kasey from Deadlands to the podcast. So Kasey, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. I'm stoked to be here.
I'm stoked to have you here too. And I had to quickly take a look. I'm like, wait, this is one that I had help with Tori from, right? Yep. Okay. I got to shout her out because she helps me out with so many of these. I'm like, and this was one once I saw it and it had Tori attached. And I'm like, Tori, please.
Dude, she is the best. She is literally so cool. I met her in person and like, she's just such a sweet person. I love her.
She absolutely is. Have you had a chance to be on her show yet at all?
Yes, actually. I believe I was like one of her first episodes. I might be totally wrong there. But I was on there electronically, like, via Zoom or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we are trying to get an in-person interview going, so hopefully we can get that going soon.
I was just about to ask you guys going to be doing an in-person one together because that would be one that people are definitely going to be anticipating, waiting for. And am I actually promoting Tori's podcast on this one? Of course I am. Tori's awesome. Why wouldn't you do something like that?
Dude, She's With the Band is sick.
Absolutely. I mean, I've watched it a couple of times. I've seen some of the artists I've always had on here. There's a couple of times I've had artists on here. I'm like, Tori, you're going to have to get these other artists on here because they are fantastic. The one I pushed right away after interviewing her was Maria from Future Palace. I'm like, when they come over to the U.S., you got to set up something.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, Future Palace is sick. I don't know much of their stuff, but what I have heard of them, I've had I do my own Twitch stream sometimes. Mm-hmm. And we've had a lot of requests for Future Palace, and what I've watched has been like mind-blowing. It's like, it's so good, and I need to really add them to my playlist. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And then also, if you had a chance to, because I know they're going to be in the U.S., I think later in September, if you get a chance to go see them perform live, absolutely do so, because I've got a huge thing where, like, I got to see them play live. They're playing the same night in Chicago as my favorite band of all time, so I'm seeing my favorite band of all time play, that's Rise Against, and then I'm jetting over to a different venue to make sure I see Future Palace's set.
Hell yeah, dude. Good for you. I'm so happy for you.
We got to do it. We got to support great music, and that's what we're here today. So, Kasey, of course, with the brand new EP 7 coming out on June 27th, we're right about the release. How has everything been going for you in Deadlands right now? I mean, we're right up to the release of this thing. It's so close.
It's so close, dude. We've been really, really busy, and we have been trying our best to just hone in on all of the skills and like go from a local band to a real touring act. Like, we are about to go on our first support tour ever, and it's going to be Scene Queen and Girly. So we're like super, super hyped for that. And so the first thing that we decided to do, first, we're building stage platforms, stage risers by hand. We're making them ourselves. We're painting them and everything. And we also decided we're programming lights this time around, so we're gonna have a little bit of a light show for the first time. And we're also gonna be. We just recently bought a brand new. It's from 1997, but it's an old vehicle that's like a fixer upper. But we don't have to like go through hotels and rent anything from like rent a van or anything. So we're super excited, but we are absolutely busy. And in between all of that, we're also still writing like for the next album, and we're trying to get all of our ducks in a row, you know?
Yeah, but there's no stopping the momentum that Deadlands has at the moment. Going on tour with Scene Queen, new EP coming out, becoming that full-fledged touring band in your eyes as well, with a brand new van, redoing it, constantly working on it to make sure it's fit for your specs so that when you go out on the road, you can consistently have that. You don't have to always stay in hotels or rent vans. You're already set up and ready to go continuously. But then also writing for another brand new album that's going to be coming out at some point in the future. There are so many artists that I've had in the podcast over the past 6 years that I've seen grow tremendously. And usually the sign of artists that are really going to end up hitting that growth are the ones that are constantly working on this stuff, constantly continuing on. And even when it seems so busy, they're always finding time for what can we do more? What can we add to this? What can we do better? And just from that update that you gave us, it seems like Deadlands is on that trajectory right now with that momentum and with where you guys are set up. So just keep going at it. Just keep rolling with it.
Dude, thank you. We 100% will. We ain't stopping. We're not slowing down. Like it's full speed ahead, and we're gonna do everything that we can to make sure that we come back out kicking and screaming even after the cycle's over, you know?
Well, the crazy thing, too, is we think about it, and if we look back, of course, when a lot of people got to know who you are from your vocal styles, from covering To the Hellfire and covering Zombified, over those past 3.5 years, we've seen a continued uptick, continued positive trajectory, not only from yourself, from your own socials, but also from Deadlands as well once it was created. That there is history behind this from you and the rest of the band, that this is going to continue to happen. This is going to continue to grow based on the work you're continuing to put in. There's no stopping it. And again, we have history to go off of to say, yeah, they're not just brand new to this. This has been a thing since the inception, or since we even first found out about them.
Yeah, man. No, you're so right. You're literally so right with everything that you're saying. I have nothing to add.
Well, how about this? How about we actually ask a couple of questions so that we have more to add from you instead of me just going off on this. But of course, we all got to know you back in 2022 with those covers. Have you taken time to actually, especially with this brand new EP coming out, taking a look back and just seeing how far you've come, not only as Kasey, but also as Deadlands since its inception over the past 3.5 years?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every song that we record is just me improving, and which is something I'm so grateful for, you know, but I always said when I was younger, I will never be the best, because there is no such thing. If you're saying you're the best, you're putting a ceiling on your potential. You know what I mean? I always want to get better, and I always will get better, and I will never stop getting better, but I will never be the best, and there is no such thing, period. And I always encourage people who are starting vocals, the same thing, just strive to be better. Don't strive to be the best, because it doesn't exist, you know?
I do know what you're saying, too, because recently my buddy, who I love to go to shows with, he got me in an MMA fight, and he said the same thing. He's like, there's always going to be someone better than you at whatever you're trying to do in this, whether it's in the gym or in some other gym. So you just got to focus on constantly improving. And by taking that mindset, especially for vocals, you were constantly seeing an improvement, not only in your unclean, just raw, visceral aggression that comes out of there, but especially listening through the EP, not only the singles that are out before the release of it, but the deep cuts that are going to be coming out on release day. I've seen a huge improvement in the clean vocals and the contrast that you're able to pull off between both sides, and not only having it pop in each individual aspect, but how the contrast in these songs are working together to amplify that every step of the way. So not only are you seeing that from a vocal performance in an isolated side, but you're seeing it in a songwriting perspective as well.
Thank you so much, dude. And that, like, what you said about the contrast between each song, like, you hit the nail on the head. Like, a lot of people don't know that the EP is about seven deadly sins, and we wanted each song to hit very different. And the fact that you said that is fantastic. I'm glad the vibes are coming through.
Oh, the vibes are absolutely coming through. But again, that all comes from practice. That all comes from learning to continue building your craft and finding inspiration from many different places, whether it's from your own emotions or taking a listen to other vocalists that are out there, seeing what they're doing, hearing what they're doing, and wondering, could I do something like that? Could I get to that type of level? But then putting in the work to get to that, as of course we've seen in the past number of years, we've seen many, many female vocalists that can hit those absolute heavy lows, really come forward and become not only popular, but become some of the absolute mainstays in the heavy music scene. Of course, if you're looking at the one that's probably at the top of the list right now in terms of fans' minds, we're looking at Courtney from Spirit Box, but it's crazy to see the continued rise of that, but it's all based on people trying to get better and trying to do more with what they have.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that, even Courtney herself has gotten so she has leveled up in terms of songwriting, in terms of vocals, in terms of performance so much in such a short amount of time. It's incredible to see. And the fact that you're comparing, like, I wouldn't even say comparing is the right word, but you're putting me in the same sphere as her is an honor. Like, I am very honored.
Well, it's hard not to put you and your vocal style and your ability in the same sphere as people like Courtney or people like Tatiana from Ginger, or Lauren Babick as well from Red Handed Denial. There's so many, female vocals that we're seeing out there that can hit these massive ranges, from these soft, angelic, beautiful, and sometimes even incredibly powerful cleans to these absolute visceral, aggressive lows. I'm seeing it all over the place, and I'm seeing younger bands start to grow with that as well. I just recently, before we record this, I think the week beforehand, I went to go see one of Oceano's last shows, and Escuela Grind was one of the bands on there, and seeing their vocalist just get up there and just be as viscerally angry as she was, I was just like, I did not expect that to come out of you, but holy shit. That was awesome.
Escuela Grind, heavy hitter for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So you're seeing more of that inspiration come forward when we see more local bands, or we're seeing younger bands. I'm not saying Escuela Grind is a local band, but I'm seeing other local bands and other younger bands come forward and having female vocalists that can do stuff like this. But it all takes from the inspiration of what we're seeing today. Like we brought up with Tatiana from Ginger, bringing up Courtney, or bringing up vocalists that are, getting a huge start of this or getting a huge kick of this from doing covers and expanding their vocal range, like Lauren Babick and like yourself as well. We're seeing that inspiration take hold, because not only is the accessibility there, but you're seeing the fact that it's possible and that it is something that is being, I'm not going to say celebrated, but being encouraged as, let's see this continue on. Let's see what other people have that they can add to this already growing scene that continues to grow every day.
For sure. And I mean, like, let me ask you though. I know obviously you said that you listened to the EP, but have you listened to The Pretty Wild?
I have listened to Pretty Wild, because I was going to try and bring them on the podcast, but it just didn't work out this time. Maybe in a couple of months we'll try it.
Oh, yeah. I think you absolutely should. They're incredible. Like, they're incredible humans inside and out, but even so, like, they are so talented. And just to watch their improvement from... Because I found them as they had just released Black Ops, and I had dove into like their previous discography, and they like recently learned how to scream. Like they didn't always know. They used to be a country act. So I listened to their song, I believe it was Roswell. Roswell is one of their songs. OnlyFans is another one of their songs, which was like the older stuff. And then compare it to Omens, which is their latest release. Just the improvement in the screams alone is like mind blowing, and it's so sick to just watch them come into themselves and grow into their identities, if you will. It's so sick.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to bring him on and just talk to him about that journey as well. And specifically say that Kasey from Deadlands was the one that said, you got to go make sure you check this out. Whether you have checked it out or you haven't, go and check it out for the first time. Go check out the Pretty Well because they're also featured on a song on this EP. Of course, that song is already out, especially by the time this releases. But of course, it's out as a single, so you can go check it out and see how that all interplays, not only with their style, but with what Deadlands does as well.
Yeah, dude, they're freaking sick, man. The song is called Kundalini. If anybody wants to hear it.
I was gonna let you say it so I didn't butcher the pronunciation. So thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Otherwise, I was gonna get really, really wacky with it. But like you said earlier, when it comes to Seven, each song is based off of one of the 7 deadly sins. So when it came to writing this and going with that idea based off of one of the 7 deadly sins, or each of the 7 deadly sins, I should say. What was the reason behind that? And then when it came to writing and really embodying those 7 deadly sins in songs, what was that process like?
Yeah, so first, how we came up with it, I literally was just, I was playing Fortnite, and then I go, wait a second, why don't we write it about the 7 deadly sins? And then I called CJ, I said it, and he was like, that's sick, let's do it. So it literally was just out of thin air. I just thought about it. And so we took it and ran. And at that point, House of Cards was already out. House of Cards happened to fit Wrath like exactly. So we were like, that's easy. From the theming to the colors to the meaning, everything was there. You know what I mean? And then I started, the next song that we wrote was Villain. And CJ had come to me. He had like the chorus etched out a little bit. He had the structure of the song. And so when I started writing, I was like, all right, so this is about pride. So I'm a very prideful person just to begin with. Like that's something that I am trying to work on. But when I was writing it, I was just trying to pull out the ugliest parts of myself and almost detach them like they were like venom or something and just put them on paper so that they were no longer with me. And I feel like I did that with most of the songs. And like some of them, like the song that we have for Greed, like I'm not a very greedy person, at least I don't think. So like me writing that, I definitely pulled more inspiration from outside rather than from myself. Like, I mean, anybody could say the government is greedy. I think we all can agree on that, no matter who is in office or what. But like, I really just tried to embody that in the song and just like point fingers at the people who think that they run us and they don't. And with that being said, for Gluttony, like one of the biggest things that I really tried to focus on was like addiction and eating disorders, because a lot of people, first of all, eating disorders, nobody I feel like talks about, even though it's such a problem and it's such an issue, especially just given social media and the current state of that. Like it's a problem. And I relate to both of those things very heavily. And so I was like, I need to have this in here. And one of the lyrics in the song is, if I take away the shame, could you face what's underneath? And I always say, like, if I could take away the shame of the act that I am doing right now, like, could I face the person that I actually am? And so this EP really turned into more so of a reflective exercise on myself. And I hope that people will listen to these songs and pick out like maybe their favorite and be like, why is this my favorite? Is it the instrumentals? Is it the vocals? Is it the lyrics? And if it's the lyrics, why do I relate to them so much? Did somebody do this to me? Am I the problem? Like, do I need to fix myself? And hopefully in turn, like it'll make us better people just to reflect, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I love the fact that especially by taking from the 7 deadly sins, what you did was you looked inward to try and find those sins that you most closely relate with, to pull yourself out of it, put it on paper. But then for something like greed, you had trouble looking at that from the inside. So instead of looking from the inside, let's go to the outside and see how it affects me internally and pull from there. So you're constantly pulling from how these deadly sins affect you, whether it's personally from your own personality or how the rest of the world, because that's what it's going to be like for all of us, where if we look at the 7 deadly sins, there's going to be ones that we more closely relate with than you do, but the ones you closely relate with, you are not going to, as you maybe hit them as closely, but we can pull from, of course, outside influences. When you brought up the one with gluttony and talking about eating disorders, that is one I really want to touch on, because I remember this was back when I would have been in like middle school or high school even. Talking about eating disorders and the prevalence that was behind them, that was much more of a focus, especially in culture, versus than it is today. Even with the prevalence of social media we had back then, with, of course, Facebook was still the big thing. That's when Instagram was just popping off and Snapchat was popping off. But you didn't hear about it as much now compared to places like when, of course, Instagram being a big thing, and on TikTok as well. And we're always seeing the best versions, the most curated versions of people. And we're always hearing, especially over the past year and a half, all the weight loss drugs, everything with Ozempic, it's being shoved down your throat to try and look a certain way. And it's just, those are going to cause people not to eat. It's going to cause eating disorders beyond that as well. It's going to become more and more of a problem as time goes on. And if we're not bringing it to the forefront once again, we're going to have people that are going to continue to fall into that, and maybe people that fall back into that. And that's not something we can have. If people don't have that healthy relationship with the good food that they eat, then we're going to end up having a lot more problems, not only internally with our bodies, but also from how our minds perceive it psychologically, if we're not bringing it to the forefront once again.
Dude, you're so right. Like, and this is such a problem, and I feel like it's only getting worse. And I even I battle with myself every day, just because I'm on my own health journey right now, and I'm trying to exercise as much as I can. I'm trying to eat better and cleaner, and just ultimately treat my body the way that it should be treated. Like, especially during COVID, I was so unhealthy, and I was so unhealthily skinny to the point where I didn't even eat, man. I was just so depressed about everything that was going on, and it's horrible. And I think we need to remind everybody, first of all, you don't need to look a certain way to be healthy, okay? If you are healthy and you are feeling good, and you are eating and exercising the way that you should be, as hard as it is, we all should be proactively talking about that and making sure that we are taking care of ourselves, because if you don't, dire consequences. It doesn't matter if you are 10 pounds or 1,000 pounds, both of them are problems, and we need to understand that having ourselves and our health is the most important thing.
I think you're absolutely right on that. I've been going to the gym consistently ever since I was 18 years old. There's a lot of guys I see at the gym now because I go at 5 a.m. So it's a lot of older people, a lot of older guys. And I've heard constantly them talk about how they struggle with so many things now because they didn't take care of themselves when they were younger. They didn't eat very healthy. They didn't take care of their bodies. They were overweight, and how it's so much harder for them to do things today because of that. And it's it shouldn't be that hard for you to do this stuff at 55, 60 years old, but it is the long-term effects of that can be dire, whether it is, maybe on the over side of things or on the under side of things. But if we're constantly having that conversation about having that healthy relationship with exercise, healthy relationship with food, and healthy relationship with image as well, because if you look at everything online and you look at all the images, again, like I said, it's all perfectly curated. It's all touched up. It's all to you for, it's okay, we want to, it's all fake. It's an aspiration for a fake look, whether it is both on the female side or even on the male side as well. If you're going to have that positive relationship with food, with your own image, you have to have that positive relationship with yourself as well to know maybe you're not going to hit that. But if you're healthy and you're happy with what you're doing, then you're going to have that healthy relationship with food. You're going to have that healthy relationship with exercise. And physiologically and psychologically, you're going to be so much happier, not only in the short run, but in the long run when, you know, you want to make sure you can still do things with your friends, still do things with your family. You don't want to be confined to just a small space because of the limitations of your body at 50 years old based on decisions that you made that were unhealthy and affected you in the long term. And especially coming on your side as well, just thinking from not only someone that is out there on social media consistently with all the vocal covers, with everything that has been going on so far the past couple of years, but now especially being on the road and being in front of people and being that, you know, that front woman figure character in a metal band. There's always going to be like those quips or those people that come up and just say certain things that try and tear down that image. So from your perspective, especially, of course, we're talking about eating disorders, how do you handle pressure like that from outside forces to make sure that you're not losing that positive relationship you have with your own mindset?
I mean, honestly, man, like sometimes I just gotta shut everything off. For example, I had posted this one video. I used like the little Snapchat. I literally put it into Snapchat and I was like, did this girl just bark at me? And I posted it. And there was so many people commenting on my body on Facebook. And they're calling me fat and shit. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know what half of you look like, but you're on Facebook. I can tell you right now, like, I definitely weigh less than 60-year-old men commenting on my body right now. So you have no right to speak. But, like, it's so crazy. And I'm like, you make no sense. So, honestly, like, for a couple days, like, I was getting down on myself. And then I was like, nah, you know what, man? Like, fuck these people. Like, oh, guess what? Are you fucking on stage at one of the biggest rock festivals in the world? Absolutely not. So you can shut the fuck up. But is it okay if I curse? I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, let's go. So I was like, yeah, no, you can shut the fuck up. And at that point, like, having a good support system around you, being like, you know, I have an amazing boyfriend and he treats me so well and he always does everything to get my confidence up, like especially if something like that is really bothering me. Like he always just finds a way to make me feel beautiful. And I mean, we should all, just as people, be trying to lift each other up. Like if I don't like something on my For You page, I just scroll, bro, because I don't care. Like, oh, that makes you happy? Do you? Like, we just need to be expelling more positivity as people.
Absolutely. I love what you also said too, just given the fact that you're thinking about, okay, this is what I'm doing, and you're commenting and you're seeing comments from, you know, like 60-year-old guys just on the most random shit. Like, come on. That if you're able to, what you're able to do is, you know, not only shut it out and move on from it, but also take a look at, okay, when it comes to my life, am I doing the things that I want to be doing in life? Am I actively able to do the things I want to do in life? Yeah, I'm up on stage. I'm kicking ass every single night we go up there. And when I do all these streams, when I do, you know, the any TikTok or Instagram, any short like that, whatever it might be, I'm kicking ass on there because that's what I want to do. And physically, I'm able to do it. I'm keeping myself healthy so that I can do these things vocally and not have the restraints put on there. And when it gets to be a little too much at times, when everyone needs that little pick-me-up, you're able to go to your support system as well and find that pick-me-up. Now, I know there's people out there that don't have a support system maybe as good as some of the other people. Shout out to your boyfriend, though, for being someone that can provide that support, because we need more people to do that like that on both sides of the aisle. So it's fantastic to hear. But for people that don't have that support system, or they don't have it as readily available, know that there are people out there that have gone through stuff like you, that have gone through the same things as you, have gotten past those points and can be that support system. Plus, in art, we can find that support as well, because art mimics reality. And with your song about that, of course, with about gluttony, about eating disorders, we can look at them. We can see a much deeper relationship with it and get a further understanding that, especially for people that are going through that they're not alone, and that support can be found in the art.
Exactly. Nail on the head, man.
Absolutely. I still need to get like a plank of wood right here with a hammer. I can just go, nailed it. Psh, done.
I think that is Is it within budget? It must be, right?
Well, with the new job I just started, it easily is within budget. I got the hammer already in my car. I got the nails in there. I just need the plank of wood, and hopefully my landlord doesn't kick me out for constantly putting a hammer to a nail on the wall. That's going to be so hard to rip off, especially once I move out of here. That's going to, I might lose my security deposit on that one.
Well, you know what? It's worth it, I think.
It might be, but then I'm gonna have to like find a way to like label every single nail. Like I nailed it, like this episode, this band at this time,
yeah.
this artist said it. Like I'm gonna
Just get little planks of wood and like change them out. You know what I mean? One plank of wood per episode, and see how many nails you do in that piece of wood.
If I continue to do this at the point that I am doing it, this episode is going to be like episode 630-ish around there. So If I did that from the start, I would not only have filled up this whole wall, but that whole wall, the window would be boarded up. The wall you can't see would be boarded up, and the wall in front of me might just be finishing up, and I'd have to move all those posters up to the front. I lose a lot of floor space on that one just from the walls coming in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, not enough. Not enough. We need more. We need more nails. We need more episodes.
We need more nails. We need more episodes. We need more planks of wood. I need a bigger space. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, damn straight. That must be within budget.
Soon it will be. Soon it will be. Let me pay off my car first because that's a bitch and a half to get rid of it. I've been so focused in on that. Then we can think about a new space.
Good plan. Good plan. Got it.
Good plan. Well, Kasey, there is a question I love asking when it comes to new EPs, new albums coming out. And when it comes to Seven, I have to dive into it specifically. So we have singles that are out right now with Villain, Limbo, Kundalini. I think I said that right. I hope
you did. You did.
Yes. And House of Cards. There are 3 others on there that have not been released by the time we record this. I'm not sure if they're going to release by release date. But out of those 3 songs that have yet to be released, which is the song that you are most excited for people to hear and why?
Oh my God. See, this is the hardest question ever because these are all my babies. Like, I created them. I am mother to them.
Well, that's why I didn't ask which one was your favorite, because I wasn't going to make you pick a favorite. But I'm like, there might be one you're like, I just cannot wait to see what the reaction is to this specific one. So that's where I go with the question.
Dude, it's so hard because they're all really different songs. Like, we have Die in Paradise is really cool because I feel like it gives almost like Spirit Box x Ice Nine Kills vibes, which is a really crazy combo to think about. But also maybe even like Conquer Divide. I feel like it just encompasses a lot of different worlds and it's super cool. And then we have another song on there. It's called More. And that one I feel like gives Bad Omens X Motionless, which is also super sick. Like, and they just breed. Oh my God. I can't even describe Wither. Wither is really, really crazy. And it's no cleans. So it's just balls to the wall craziness from top to bottom. Like, we wanted it to just be like we wanted it to be almost low effort, to where it was like your brain is not even functioning when you're listening to the song. Like, your brain just shuts off and your body just goes on autopilot of just banging your head, thrashing around. Like, it's crazy. So out of the 3 of them, man, it's got to be Wither. I have to say Wither because I don't think people are expecting it.
I do have to say this before I jump in further. That was probably the best answer I ever heard from that question, because you had 3 songs yet to be released, and instead of just picking one, you're like, I'm going to explain all 3. I'm just going to say what the answer is after. So it's like you got to wait through the whole entire thing, but you're going to get a preview of all 3 songs before you get to the pick of the one that is what I thought was easily with Wither the most, as I put there in the overall, this might be the most out-of-pocket song for the EP, as it is short, aggressive, and in your face with those aggressive guitars, drums, programming, vocals for a song about sin, the sin of sloth. but this is what the world needs to be punched in the absolute motherfucking mouth over their inability to get up and do something. This song says fuck you to laziness right to your face, and I think it was the perfect move overall.
Dude, thank you so much. I love that. That was the best description I have ever heard of that song, bro.
Yes! Okay, I'm getting the win today. I need another plank.
Just smack it.
Just keep smacking, just keep going. But that was one that threw me off entirely, especially with only going with the uncleans, because we don't see that contrast from the cleans in your voice as well with a song like this. But given the idea of the song, given the sin it's connected to, and given the way that it was written to attack that sin, that's not something that you want to have cleans with, because the cleans kind of soothe you a little bit at times. They might be a little more melodic to stand out against the aggressive uncleans, and that might allow you to get content within the song. And this song does not allow you to get content whatsoever. It just goes massively right in your face.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, it really does. Like, we really just wanted to go so evil on that one. And we wanted it to be chaos. We didn't want any sort of structure. We just wanted it to be super nuts. And I feel like we did a good job at that.
Which is going to be nuts when you go and, perform with Scene Queen on that tour run, because if you end up playing with her during that run, that's going to be something where everyone's going to be like, is this the part we really start kicking? Not just I want to do some kicking. It's no. Now we really doing some kicking here.
Oh yeah. Now you are pedaling like the freaking the woodpecker from that one cartoon. Well, Roadrunner. There you go. You're kicking it. You're just kicking it.
Yeah, you're just going around. You're just having a blast. If someone ends up pulling out like a couple of chairs and we start doing some WWE type stuff in the pit, just roll with it. It's gonna be fun.
Exactly. You know it. I absolutely will take your advice for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But the other one I do want to mention too specifically is Die in Paradise. I know you mentioned that one kind of had like the Spirit Box-esque Ice Nine Kills-esque thing, but that was the song that vocally, I think to me, stuck out the most, because I mentioned the band earlier. I mentioned the vocalist earlier, Maria from Future Palace. This was the song that I listened to. I'm like, the vocal strength is so on par with what I would listen to with Future Palace, and I love Future Palace. So I'm like, I'm seeing the vocal dominance start to really take forward here with what you're able to do with the cleans and show that strength really, but also any of the uncleans that come in there. It just shows the power of the comparison, the power of the contrast from a songwriting perspective too. So that was the one that I thought I was going to be the most excited about until Wither came later on in this track list. But Die in Paradise, again, just stood out so much from a vocal standpoint. You can truly see the growth of your vocal range and how you are as a vocalist in that song right now.
Dude, thank you so much. I feel like that also to me, like, I was just running through the set. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I was rehearsing the set just by myself in my basement, and I decided to throw Die in Paradise in there, and when I was singing it, I was like, this feels like just right. Like, it's right in my range. It feels strong, and I really loved performing it. Well, performing it very loosely, So it was really sick to sing it for the first time, like full out. And I'm really glad that you like that, because that was one of the songs that me and CJ were like, this is really cool, but I don't think we would make it a single, but it's still cool nonetheless. So we're gonna keep it in there, and I'm glad you really liked it.
Well, I'm glad you kept it in there too, especially because my favorite songs on the overall listing are typically the ones that are the deep cuts. Just that's usually what happens. Just there's something that I get connected with them. Of course, I did really like Villain as well, but man, it was Die in Paradise and Wither. Those songs just really latched onto me, and I absolutely found them to be fantastic based on just the difference that Wither gives, but then the overall expansion of songwriting and of what your voice is able to do now that is Die in Paradise. So I feel like once you go out on that tour, man, the contrast and the comparison and just the way you're able to create a set list off of this EP, it's going to be special. It's going to be special.
Dude, thanks so fucking much. I'm so excited.
And the one thing that makes me mad is while you were bringing that up, I had to look up. I'm like, all right, let's see where this tour is coming through. Is it coming by me? And the day it's the closest to me, I am not here. I'm like,
no! That sucks. I'm so sorry.
It happens. What are you going to do? But it's something that, I'm used to.
Yeah.
I'll find another day.
You may. We do have some headliner dates peppered in between some of the off days of the Scene Queen tour, so maybe we'll be coming around. I don't know where exactly they are, but I hope it's close.
Well, I mean, how about I look this up right now because I don't want to miss out on this. So let's see what we got here. Did I have? Oh wait, I did have the days wrong, but I think I'm out that day anyway too. Shoot. Yeah, because I'm looking, I'm like, all right, the closest date to me would be July 20th in Chicago.
Fuck, man.
Damn it.
Well, you know what? Then I guess you're going to have to see us where we can perform the album in full.
Ooh. That'd have to be on a potential.
That's not confirmed or anything. I just said that. So don't take that with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. It's not confirmed, but it's not denied either. So
That's
it
true.
could be potentially coming up.
Who knows what we're going to do? Our priority for this year is absolutely support tours. So the chance of doing a headliner run this year is very slim, but never zero.
It's never zero. And I the reason I had to look that up is because recently, I know the episode will air before this one airs, though. I received an episode with the band Mugshot, and I'm like, I love their album, and I totally forgot they were coming by me in a venue that has on the walls, dance at your own risk. And I'm like, while we were talking, he was talking about the tour. He's like, what do you, like, your head's turned. I'm like, I'm buying a ticket right now. What are you talking about? And I bought one live.
That's fantastic.
And I was hoping to be able to do it again here, but that's one I'm not sure if we'll be able to make. So I'm like,
I'm sorry. Well, listen, if you need tickets, you hit me up at any time, and I will hook you up.
Unless it's at the rave, then I'll just ask them.
Yes, there you go.
But hopefully hopefully we get another support run from Deadlands coming up in the fall, because of course we're starting to see some tours get announced there. You never know what might happen. There's plenty of dates that have yet to be filled for a lot of places. So you very well might get Deadlands coming to your area, but touring with who? That's a good question.
I know, man. Dude, Scene Queen and Girly, I'm so hyped. And I can't wait for, like, just the future, that all we know is the Scene Queen and Girly tour at the moment, but we've put our hand in for a lot of bigger tours, and I really hope that the Scene Queen tour will really propel that, and people really start to take us a little more seriously, at least in the what do you call it? The bigger fields. What am I looking for? The big leagues. There you go.
I was about to say, like, what are you talking about? The real world? I'm not sure. Like, I'm trying to think of it too. But you never know what might happen, because, I mean, we've seen the rise of Scene Queen over the past year. I remember seeing the fact that she was going on a headlining run, and then all of a sudden she was opening for Baby Metal. Like, it's like, how hell did that happen? But you never know what might happen with Deadlands. But instead of asking you to potentially confirm, a run in the fall of 2025, how about this? There are plenty of artists that have yet to tour with Deadlands, or that Deadlands still has yet to tour with. Which artists over the next, let's say, year and a half, which artists would you love to have the chance to either tour with or to, support on their headlining run?
Oh, man. Well, recently I just met all the guys in The Word Alive, and they are absolutely incredible. Like, Telly is such a down-to-earth guy. Like, they were so nice, and I went up on stage with them, and it was just so much fun. And I know, like, CJ would love to tour with The Word Alive, and they were just such a good hang. We had such good chemistry on stage. Like, I would absolutely love to tour with them. And also, like, I have been listening to Sleep Theory religiously, and they are just so sick. And I love everything that they've been doing. The new album slaps, and I have to throw it in there. It's so obvious, but Spirit Box is insane. Spirit Box, like their new album, I reacted to it live on Twitch, and at first I was like, it's cool, but I don't know if I would listen to it. And then I listened to it again, and I was like, this is a fucking masterpiece. What was I thinking? Like, I don't know what I was even saying, being like, yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool. No, it's literally like, the songwriting is insane. The actual, like, melody writing, the instrument, oh my god, like, don't even get me started. But I think those three, I would love to tour with them. I would love it.
I could still easily see all three happen. It's no shock that I could see all three happen. The Word Alive, absolutely. I know they think they just announced a headlining run sometime later in the year. I don't think I saw any support acts added on there, so you never know.
You never know.
I know Sleep Theory is going out in, probably as we were, releasing this episode, so maybe we'll do something a little bit later. But Spirit Box, I could easily see that happening too. The crazy thing about that Spirit Box album is, for me, is, don't hate me though, I think it came out at the wrong time for me specifically, because it came out a week after the Architects album came out, and I love the Architects album. But then when Spirit Box released Tsunami C, Whitechapel released their absolute banger of an album. I'm like, Spirit Box got lost in the shuffle because I like the Architects one too much, and I could not stop listening to Whitechapel one. It was so heavy, so aggressive, but it was just so good.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my god, Architects is fantastic. They have quickly become one of the bands that I am so looking forward to seeing. And I actually, I had to lie to my boyfriend the other day and say, hey, my brother has his birthday on this day, and you have to come to the party. And he's fighting me. He's like, I have work that day. I'm like, you have to take off. You can't, you have to come to the party. And he's like, why? Like, your brother would be fine with me missing it. I'm like, no, you have to come. And I actually got Architects tickets for him for our anniversary. So I just gave them to him, and he was like, oh my god, I love it. I can't wait. I can't believe that I was fighting you. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Take it back.
Yeah, take it back. Never fight Kasey on anything, Mr. Boyfriend, because clearly what's going to happen is there's going to be great things. I mean,
exactly.
If she's saying, take off work to go to a party, you're going to have two things happen. One, you're either going to go to a party, and it's probably better than work anyway. Or secondly, you're going to go see frickin' Architects, man.
Period. You know what's up.
I mean, but what happens the next time? You'll be like, we got to go to a party. It's like, take off of work. You'd be like, Architects? It might be like next time, nah, knocked loose.
Oh, that would be crazy. We would get destroyed. I saw them a couple times. I saw them open for Bring Me the Horizon.
Yes.
Which I was like, oh my god. Like, they were insane. And then I also saw them at Blue Ridge. That was a nightmare.
Was it 2023?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember.
Yeah, we opened the festival. So there was that. That was fantastic for us, but not for anybody else. So rest in peace. But
I remember because me and my friends, we wanted to see you, but because of the whole entire transportation issue, we got in, and we heard "Thank you, everybody," and we're like, fuck.
Damn, man. But you know what? Like, that just means you have to see us, like, at an actual show.
At an actual show, whether it's here in Milwaukee, whether it's at a festival, whether it's in Chicago, whether it's in Madison, Wisconsin, whether it's some random spot in the middle of nowhere, who knows? You got to go see Deadlands Live. I got to go see Deadlands Live because I haven't had the opportunity. I haven't had the possibility of having it graced upon me because, well, I suck at that point in time. But we got to fix that.
We will. Eventually we will.
Well, if we don't fix that is a major, major issue. But I'm hoping to fix it at some point in 2025. But we will see what happens. You never know. Maybe, let me think. Maybe there's something that happens where all of a sudden there's a certain festival where, of course, maybe someone has to drop out for one reason or another, and Deadlands gets added on there because there's like 160 bands going on there. And then we all get to go into the pit and absolutely get wrecked because it's a Knock Loose hometown show. I always said Knockville. Like, no.
Knoxville.
And then, no, they didn't be playing in Knoxville to call it Knoxville. We got to go to Louisville for that one. But hey, you never know. You get put on day 4 of, what day? Of Louder Than Life just because someone dropped off. And then, boom, Knock Loose, Bring Me the Horizon. Come on. That'd
works. Be insane. That would be insane. Like, listen, I hope that none of the bands drop off the bill. But if they do, I hope they call us.
Or if someone drops off, just already call them and be like, hey, Danny.
Put a word in. Yeah, we're here. We're ready. We're here for that.
We'll try and get as many people on it as well. You call them, give me their number, I'll call them. Give Tori their number, even though she might already have it. We'll call them. We'll just all like be like, hey, just put Deadlands on there. Why? Because we want it.
Exactly. You know the drill.
Oh, we know the drill. The more you talk about it, the more you mention it, eventually something's going to happen. They can't ignore the voices of everybody.
Correct.
So now we got another little piece of homework for everybody. Go and just start saying book Deadlands on, we mentioned the bands. We said Sleep Theory. We said Spirit Box. Shoot, I already forgot the other. We said the word Alive. There we go. We said, try and get them on Louder Than Life if someone drops off. So just start commenting Deadlands, because you're going to listen to this EP. You're going to lose your fucking mind, and you're going to want to see him play live. So why not help him out and just keep talking about it? Just keep going with it.
Thank you. I really appreciate your steadfastness in trying to get us on, dude. Really. I love it. And I do really hope, they absolutely do look at the comments, and they do look at who people are wanting, and we already have a couple people commenting all the time, and if we flub them, there's no way they can say no.
No, we need more. And then also do it by just constantly messaging Jose Mangan to play this EP when it comes out on Octane, because they got good connections there. I've seen it happen where you constantly talk about it for Octane and they play it. My friends at Kingdom Collapse got that to happen to them, so let's do it with Deadlands.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Dude, they've been playing Limbo, so there's no excuse. Play more. They have to play the whole EP.
I mean, they can play the whole EP, but once they hear Wither, they're going to be like, yeah, we got to play that one on a loop at once an hour, every hour.
Love it.
Absolutely. Well, Kasey, I got one more question before I wrap this up. It's a question I love to ask every single artist I've been interviewing over the past 2 years once we actually thought about doing this kind of question. But it's a way for us to get to know more of the music and for you to get to support the music you love. I got to limit it to 3 because otherwise we might go all night with this. But can you name me 3 bands or artists that you love that you would love to see more people get into right now?
Oh my God, The Pretty Wild, no hesitation. Ooh, holy crap, this is such a hard question.
Came out of the gate strong and then...
Yeah, dude.
Standard. You always get stumped on it. Everyone always does.
Yeah, what the hell? I feel like I have as soon as this question is asked to me, I completely brain farted. Let me look at my recent Spotify stuff, because I have so many sick artists that are smaller in my playlists and everything, and I feel like it would be remiss if I didn't check it out. Oh, there is a brand new artist. Her name is Garden of Her, is her actual artist name, and she's really sick and she's brand new, and I think once her production levels up, I think she's a solo artist and this is her first single, so she's got time, but I think as soon as she gets a handle on production, she's gonna go crazy, because her vocals are just so good. They are so good. Oh, and you know what? Dying Oath, dude. Dying Oath, they're from North Carolina, at least I think. They played with us in Greensboro, North Carolina. They are super, super sick. And the vocalist, her name is Mindy. She
Mhm.
is so sweet and so sick.
When you said Dying Oath, I was just like, wait a minute. I know that name. Because I'm pretty sure I'm friends with Mindy on Facebook after we did an episode with her. After I saw Dying Oath play at Blue Ridge 2021. Again, a lot of other issues there. But I saw them play live and I'm like, I gotta bring them on. And I haven't talked to her since. But
so good.
Yeah.
Oh, and a wild card, Midwinter. Fantastic band. They are so deserving to be way more popular than they are, but like they're fucking incredible. Check them out for sure.
Throwing in a wild card and giving me 4 instead of 3, breaking the rules. My God, that's awesome. I love it.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Hey, the rules are meant to be broken, right?
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, Kasey, I want to thank you for taking time to come onto the Chord Progression Podcast today. I truly appreciate it. And we're going to close this episode out with 3 things. First things first, the brand new EP 7 comes out on June 27th. You're going to want to make sure that you're ready for it. And Deadlands going on tour with Scene Queen. Plus, there's going to be more shows coming up in the future. So what's the best thing to do is to go follow along the band right now. So go to script of the podcast where it says find Deadlands online link tables for everything for you can follow along with the band, where you can stream the new EP, where you can go check them out live, and where you can go and what profiles to tag when you say, hey, Danny Presents, hey, Octane, go and book or play Deadlands. So you just can constantly tag them and we can constantly get their name out there so more and more people get to know them and more people get to hear them. So go and do that. I do all the research for you. Just click the link in the description of the podcast. I got you covered. Now it's time for number 2. Kasey, you never guest on the podcast. I enjoy the podcast. I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say thank you. I really appreciate it. And I wish I could support the band in the future. And when it happens, I do it like this. I do not promise with if, because if implies it might not happen. I say when. When implies it will happen. I just don't have a day or time exactly. But when I get to see you perform live for the first time, I will come and find you. I will come and say hello to you. But that's not really the promise, because that's just common courtesy. The real promise is first round's on me.
Oh, well, thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. And hopefully maybe it's at the rave or maybe at one of the smaller venues or Chicago or at a festival. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we absolutely will.
Yes. And now it is time for number 3. Kasey, I cannot end this episode by saying goodbye. That is way too final. I want to support the band in the future. I want to make sure I make good on that promise. Of course, I also want to bring you back on this podcast again as well. And hopefully next time I'll actually have the planks of wood up here so you can just go, doink, we did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Maybe in a new area, though. Maybe in a new little, not this small living room. Maybe in a bigger room, but we'll see what happens. But we can't end this with a goodbye. That's way too final. Kasey, I'll see you later.
I'll see you later, Kevin. Thanks so much.
Woo! Well, folks, this is my interview with Kasey from Deadlands, and now it's time for Kevin's final thought. And this is where my final thought is coming in with this. When we have talked to Deadlands, and when we heard about what they're doing right now, of course, you got the new EP coming out on the 27th. You've got a lot more happening as well. More new music coming up, tours coming up, them supporting Scene Queen. You've got them putting more and more time and effort into the band as well. It just continues to show that this band is unrelenting from the beginning. I mean, they were formed after we found out about Kasey in the rock and metal world, especially online after covers from Zombified by Fawn Verse and to the Hellfire by Lorna Shore with her incredible vocal range. But we're seeing, especially on 7, a band that is continuing to grow and understand their strengths and continue to get better. Like we said, the songwriting on this is a lot better than what we had potentially previously anticipated. You're seeing the growth of the band as songwriters as well. You're seeing the growth of Kasey's vocals, not only with the unclean still as strong as they were, but the clean staying out a lot more with a lot more vibrato, a lot more expansion, a lot more of a contrast that allows the cleans and the uncleans to complement each other. I mean, we've seen a lot of great vocalists do this, especially on the female side recently, but Kasey absolutely takes that and is continuing to level up every time you hear a new track come from Deadlands. At this point in time, if I had to give a great comparison for Deadlands as for fans of Future Palace, I know I mentioned Maria a good amount during this episode. I want to see what could potentially happen with Deadlands and Future Palace. I think that'd be a great combo. What happens if we get like a Spirit Box, Deadlands, Future Palace, Ginger tour coming up in 2026? I'll be down for that. I'd be totally down for that. I know you would too. So be sure to go follow along with Deadlands. Go scroll to the podcast below where it says follow Deadlands, online link symbols for everything where you can follow Deadlands, and of course Kasey as well. Please also make sure to follow along with the Chord Progression Podcast in the script of the podcast below. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, links there. Hit subscribe right here. If you're on YouTube, hit the follow subscribe button. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, hit the like button to help push these episodes. I want to thank Kasey for coming to the podcast. Go and support Deadlands. Go and check them out live. Go and stream the new album. Listen to it, or the EP, I should say. Get ready when it comes out because it is fantastic. And that's going to be for me, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end everything was. Absolutely big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah.